You know, a lot of the things that I cover in these grammar shorts videos are really simple mistakes that you probably make if you make them at all, because you were writing too fast or typing too fast, and it's an honest mistake and you can catch it in the proofreading. Today's is not so easy, and in order to prepare you for that, I've got a speech. Hi kids. Look, you know that I love you, right? And even if you make a mistake with something like there, and there, I am not going to judge you. I'm not going to love you any less. But people out there will, as with everything that I talk about here on this channel, Bullock's Rules for Writing. But affect with, let's put it here, affect with an A and affect with an E. Now this is a kind of homophone problem, homophones being words that sound the same but are spelled differently, mean different things. But it's also deeper than that. It's because that when you're using words like this, it's a lot different from words like your and your or it's and its. Affect and affect are high-level words that indicate some complexity to what it is that you're talking about. And so the bar, if you will, that you need to get over in order to not be judged in that way is significantly higher. But I have a couple of tricks for you. One trick, obviously, is just to memorize which word means which thing. And I will say this, 99.9% of the time, when you are trying to use affect as a verb, you want to use the A. You know, how is this going to affect my score? You want the A in that case. And 99.9% of the time that you want the noun, as in this could have serious effects, you want the E effect. Now, probably the easiest way to remember that 99.9% of the time when you want the verb, you want the A, and 99.9% of the time when you want the noun, you want the E. The easiest way to remember that is to remember the phrase cause and effect, which is not hard because you've probably heard that phrase about 1 billion times in your life. But here's the thing, the word cause ends with an E, and in the phrase cause and effect, the word effect begins with the E. So in cause and effect, you end on an E and start on an E. And that's a really easy way to remember, because if you're writing a sentence or proofreading a sentence where you've got the word effect, substitute cause and effect. Put that whole phrase into your sentence. If the sentence still makes sense, then you want the E, because cause ends with E, and effect begins with E. And if it doesn't make any sense, then you are probably trying to use it as a verb and you want the A. All right, and if that's all you care about is just the real quick difference between the two, most of the time that you're using it, you can stop the video now. I'll see you for the next one, all that. But some of you are wondering, what about that 0.1% of the time? How do I use these the other way, you know, in this very small minority of cases? Well, I'm glad you asked, because as I said earlier, affect and effect are some pretty high-level words. And when you go to the 0.1% on affect and effect, you get to an even higher level. The bar gets so much more significant in terms of what you must be writing about or what you must be talking about. The 0.1% of the time that you want the verb, you would use the E. Most of the time you want the A, but the verb with the E. And the verb effect means, it's going to blow your mind in a minute, to cause or to make happen. Yes, this is absolutely ridiculous that we have in the English language the phrase the cause and effect, where both of those are nouns, and we have the verb effect, which means cause. I don't invent this stuff, people. I just teach it. The verb effect with an E, about 99.9% of the times that you see effect with an E, it's followed by the word change, because to effect change is a very common verb phrase in the English language. So he's a really smart politician, and I'm electing him to effect change in Washington. Yeah, and then the 0.1% of the time you're using affect as a noun when you want to spell it with an A. Usually it's pronounced affect, kind of like Ben Affleck. But affect is a fairly specialized term in psychology, and it refers to kind of an act, a way of behaving that somebody is putting on that is different from their true self. You can actually talk about Ben Affleck this way because as an actor, he has to put on a certain affect every time he takes on a new character. So if you're thinking of this 0.1% of the time, you can remember this sentence. Actors effect an affect. And in fact, you can remember that sentence and it will just remind you that 99.9% of the time, you want the opposite. Anyway, I hope this helps. I'll see you for the next one.